just suddenly felt really, really excited to be here. I haven't been to this meeting for a while, and super happy to see a bunch of people that I know, and happy to see people that I don't know too. And I really, really want to welcome the newcomers today. I just want to say that when I first came into this program in October of 1997, and even when I came here to LA for the first time about 6.5 years ago, I walked into the room and I judged everybody. And I was looking at you like, you cannot help me. And that was my defense, that was my fear. I truly, truly had that feeling like nobody is going to be able to help me with what I'm going through right now. And today I look at everyone, because I know now, I really truly know this, like every one of you has a gift. And I know that that's true. I've seen it and I've experienced it in many, many different ways. And I know that I have a gift too. So I guess I'll start there and just say, I'm really getting in a very, very deep way that this is about my relationship to my power, my higher power and power inside of me. And that I have had a very tenuous, but no relationship, and then a tenuous relationship, and now I'm building a stronger relationship to that power. And I was having lunch with somebody the other day, and she looked at me, and this is not somebody she's not a healer, she's like, she's a jewelry maker, she's just a friend. And she looked at me and she said, "Oh my God, I see like a white column of light that's going right through the center of your being." And I was like, "You're seeing this right now?" I was like, "Yeah, I see that." And I was like, "What is it cylindrical? Like, what does it look like?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's kind of like this, and it's just going right straight through you." And I was like, "Okay, let me see if I can feel that." And I closed my eyes, and I did. I felt this power that was in me, and I knew that what she was saying was true. And in that moment, I understood that I could either do things that were feeding that power, or I could do things that would deplete that power. And I had a choice, and I could make a decision. Which reminds me of the third step. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood God. Like that I could make this decision to do things that would support me in that power. I know what it's like to do things that don't support me. I know that. I've done it for decades. I have resisted that part of me for decades. I get to a place where I start to experience my power, or I start to make more money, or I start to have more abundance, or I start to feel happier, and then I will do something that will sabotage myself. I will take myself out in some way, and I'll stay in this zone. It's like, people call it like an upper limit problem or a set limit or something that just keeps me at a place. And so I have this feeling like, what if I don't do that? What if I start to let myself feel this and sustain this and be in this place? And this is why this program, they talk about, it's like, you'll hear people say it's not about the money, but it is about the money, but it's not about the money. And, a lot of this program is about self-care. And if you don't know what that is, you'll learn about what that is. But I understood in that moment, this is the point of self-care. Like the things that we're learning to do in this program, go to bed earlier, eat well, take care of yourself in ways that maybe you've never taken care of yourself. Buy yourself some clean underwear. Do things that feel This is feeding you, your power. This is what's feeding my power. And I understood that by doing these, like I've done these things in the past. I've overeaten, and I've debted. I've had $110,000. When I came into this program, I came in with $110,000 of debt. And I truly, truly did not believe that I was ever going to get out from underneath that. And then in 2013, after being in this program for 16 years, I finally, all of my debts were relieved. So that's just to say to the newcomer, this program has worked for me. And a big reason why this program has worked for me is because of the people in it. And so I was going to say something about, this not being about the money, that I really understand on a deep level. This is about learning how to care for myself and learning how to be in right relationship with my higher power and with you, with people, in relationships. And I am scared of people, and I've been scared of people for so long because, probably for many reasons, probably because of where I come from, my background. I don't really want to go too much in my background because I feel like it's so far away, but I'll just say that, I grew up, in a household where my parents fought almost all the time. I don't remember too many times when they weren't fighting. They still fight. They're still married. But my mom will still hit my dad on his head and call him names, and he'll, give her the silent treatment. It's still happening, I experienced screaming as violence, and it was violent in my body. I do trauma release exercises that, I still hold trauma in my body, and I still need to do work that releases that. So I experienced a lot in my childhood, as I know a lot of you did as well. So a lot of my work, I grew up not really knowing how to be with people, but pretending that I knew how to be with people. And I knew how to really pretend. And so coming into this program helped me to learn to not pretend so much. And so I wanted to say, I want to say for the beginners, there's a lot of tools in this program that you'll learn about. There's a lot of terms and terminology that you might not understand, you'll hear today. That eventually, if you keep coming back, will start to make sense, and you'll use them, and they will be very powerful tools. But I will say, after being in many programs for almost now 20 years, that the steps are really where the deep, deep, deep recovery is. And working the steps looks different to, I think, every person, but there's suggested ways of doing that. You can ask people how they've done it, and you'll hear different answers, and you'll find the right way that works for you. But I just wanted to say that I'm on step 8 again, and I just read this thing that I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I'm trying to get at. Since defective relations with other human beings have nearly always been the immediate cause of our woes, including our debting, no field of investigation could yield more satisfying and valuable rewards than this one. Calm, thoughtful reflection upon personal relations can deepen our insight. We can go far beyond those things which were superficially wrong with us, to see those flaws which were basic flaws which sometimes were responsible for the whole pattern of our lives. Thoroughness, we have found, will pay, and pay handsomely. It actually says it will pay. So value of learning how to be in right relationship means. I'm still learning that. This Albert Einstein quote has kept, for some reason, in the last week, it keeps coming to me from various people and in books. And the quote is, "The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them." And, so I thought for a long time that I could figure this thing out. And it took this program for me to understand, I can't solve this by myself. I need to ask for help. I need to ask for help from my higher power, whatever that means, and from you. That's been in the form of sponsorship. It's been in the form of pressure relief meetings. It's been in the form of many, many phone calls to many people. It's been in the form of action partners and action groups. I've gotten a lot of help from different people, and I'm so grateful for that. Because the problem that I had couldn't be solved at the level that I was at. I think I just want to end, I just heard this in the BDA recovery issues. A lot of times when I come into this meeting, I'm not really present when people are reading. I'm just kind of doing my own thing. But today I was really listening. And, remembering that this is a business debtors anonymous meeting, and that presumably you are having your own business, or you may be thinking about having your own business, and that I'm really understanding that my business has its own soul and its own higher power, and that I can call that the soul of my business in, and that if we follow the principles of this program, we can be, and it says in 12, we are at peace with ourselves and allow our businesses to grow and expand harmoniously. And so I feel like that's really the point of this program, is just learning how to let myself grow, let my business grow, to expand harmoniously. That's all. Thanks.